All right. Hello, Jim. Well,
Hello.
whoops.
Hello, Becca.
Well, my name's Becca Braswell, and can you introduce yourself, Jim?
Okay, Jim Roberts,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I'm a retired orthodontist,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a family, my wife and I, Joan.
Yeah.
We have a family of 4 children,
Mm-hmm.
3 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
And that's our life, our family.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to hear a little bit more about your life.
Okay.
So, starting at the very beginning, when were you born?
Okay, that was on August 13th, 1939.
Okay.
And that was in Borger, Texas. Now,
Borger,
Borger was
Texas.
a boom town, or boom town, and it was a rough place.
Yeah.
Of course, my mom and dad had 5 boys.
5 boys. That's a riot.
5 boys.
Where did you fall?
And I was the last of
Wow.
the 5 boys.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
But there was quite a bit of distance between
Mm-hmm.
all of us. I had my oldest brother was 16 years older than I am. So
That's quite the gap.
there's 3 other brothers in between there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the starting of my life. It was right there
in Borger, Texas.
in Borger, Texas, and we stayed there until about 1945, I guess it was.
1945.
1945. Mm-hmm.
So you said it was a rough town. What do you mean by that?
Well, the kids, the kids were just from families that were not real stable, I guess you might say.
Yeah.
And when you don't have stability within the family unit there, then kids do whatever they want to do, where they want to do it. And, a lot of the men in Borger followed the oil boom from place to place, from city to city. And to a certain degree, my dad was in that group.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a rough town. We weren't a wide earth country, but it was definitely not unusual. My mom told me that she could remember that almost every weekend somebody would end up dead in downtown, or what was it was a tent city more than it was a downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was that type of rough.
Mm-hmm. What were your living situations there?
Well, we were very conservative, Church of Christ, and it was a good church there in Borger, and my mom had us there every time the doors were open, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so it gave me a good foundational background on fellowship and what a church can do, and what you can depend on your friends, you know, in the church. It makes a big difference in your life.
Yeah.
And so now my dad, like I say, he did go to church some, but he was gone quite a bit, off and on too.
Because he traveled a lot, because he was following the oil?
Yeah, well, he would work sometimes at a big refinery, but all those refineries usually had, I guess you might say, pipelines that would come into the refinery.
Yeah.
And those refineries would be miles, you know, away possibly.
Yeah.
I could give you one example of that. My oldest brother, who was 16 years older than I am, as I mentioned, when he started first grade, the family moved with him. It was my mom and dad and my oldest brother there. And he had 16 different first grade teachers.
He had 16 different first grade teachers?
And of course, well, I say 16, I mean, sorry, 6.
Oh, okay. That's still really bad.
No, 6, yeah. I was thinking something else. Didn't hear about that. Yeah, 6 different first grade teachers. As the pipeline would move toward the refinery, and I remember that she said, well, on one of them, they were up in, I think it was sometime, we're in North Dakota, and it went all the way down somewhere in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So it was
Quite a bit of
that
space.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you wouldn't imagine any family doing that nowadays, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1938 was maybe a year before the Great Depression ended, and then World War II was coming.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So that was the world you were born into. Obviously you were tiny during that time. You had brothers involved, I assume.
Yeah. Right.
What was that like, growing up in the Great Depression, or I guess like the resident
Right
of
at
the
the
Great
edge of
Depression?
it. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, most of it was in that I was very blessed.
Yeah.
To give you some idea, all of my brothers were born in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
Wherever mom and dad were at the time. Usually it was a farmhouse here, there, or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And they would rent these different farms, and that way give mom some way to have a big garden.
Yeah.
And she was always big at that, but the gardens gave her that.
Mm-hmm.
And dad still could go out and work, in
Yeah.
the oil fields.
Mm-hmm.
And
So was she sustaining you guys with that garden?
oh yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times you, if you lived out in the country, which
Yeah.
most of your farms were,
Yeah.
you didn't go to town every time, and it was usually only a weekend
Yeah.
journey that you would take
Mm-hmm.
time to go in and do shopping at the closest town to you,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the way that was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you have any brothers fight in World War II?
Now, having brothers do what?
Fight in World War II.
Oh yes, the oldest brother, like I say, he was 16 years older than I was.
Mm-hmm.
He had when in 1941, he was in school down at Texas A&M,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a member of the Corps, and he enjoyed that, and he was going into engineering, architectural, I think, engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
his entire class at Texas A&M went into the service.
His entire class.
His entire class.
Wow.
And so it just kind of emptied Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the way the country was at that time. I mean, the main thing, that's why all the different automakers quit making automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
And washing machines were were something else that was just non-existent, so to speak.
Yes.
My mom told me about that, and so she had to do a lot of her washing hand-wise,
Yeah.
and she had scrub boards that
Yeah.
you scrubbed your dirty clothes out on
Mm-hmm.
on rub boards and things like that.
Because everybody was just turned towards the war effort, and all those other things stopped temporarily.
Yes,
Yeah.
right, and
Wow.
so. Like I say, he ended up being a pilot in the Air Force, and
Mm-hmm.
he started out as a P-38 pilot training. After he went through training, he was, I guess you might say, top of his class,
Yeah.
and so they asked him to stay on as an instructor,
Okay.
which he did do.
Mhm.
And so he instructed other young men on how to pay 5 P-38s during that time. Of course, it's an unusual, I guess it was not really unusual, but it was, I guess, the first time for America where the whole mentality of America was getting through the war.
Yes.
And so the men didn't mind laying down their lives,
Mm-hmm.
literally, for that, because they knew what would happen if they didn't.
Yeah.
And so my brother told one of the admirals or captains there that he and his team, because B-17 has a whole group of men that fly, help fly the thing, they're gunners and things like that.
Yeah.
he said, we want to be in the war. And so they said, well, the only way you can do that is to fly B-17 because that's the ones we need. You know, so many of them have been shot down in Europe.
Yeah.
So then he went through that training and was sent to the East Coast, ready to go overseas. And I remember very vividly going out to the East Coast to see him off. And it was late 1944, 45. And the Air Force said, hold up, guys. It looks like we're winning there in Europe.
Yeah.
We don't need you overseas. So,
wow.
and it was amazing to see all those guys. Most of them were in tears.
Yeah.
And it made you realize how deeply they felt about America and how they wanted to be a part of the active, fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that before.
So.
How old were you when you went to go see him off? You must have been 6, maybe?
Yeah, I was 6 years old at that time.
6 years old. So shortly after that, you moved away from Porter to.
Yes, right. We at the end of the war, 1945, all the troops were coming home, I guess you might say, and so the young men, if they could, they were in different colleges, and so my brother decided he'd go to Abilene Christian College in Abilene, Texas, for some of that, and so he took off down there, and my mom and dad thought, well, it would be nice to be close to him, because they didn't have any ties keeping them in Borger at the time, and so we moved down to Abilene, Texas.
Abilene, Texas.
And he stayed 1 year into that down there, and then he moved on up to Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, and got some of his other training.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I started my life, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, first grade and everything there, and finishing up first grade there in Abilene, Texas.
Did you just have one first grade teacher?
Oh, yeah. The first grade teacher there, it was, I can't remember her. I remember my second grade teacher real well.
Yeah.
Her name was Miss Kinley. It's funny kind of how you remember some of your teachers just stand out.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them, you can't even remember their names, this far back. So, but Miss Kinley taught me somewhat how to read.
Somewhat how to read.
Yeah. Whereas my wife, Joan, she was reading by the time she was 4 years old. I was out still, catching crawdads and, and frogs and things like that.
Too busy.
And playing up and down the creek, that was more important to me than reading. And doing what boys do, playing baseball and football with the local boys there on the block. So that's kind of why I was a little bit behind the starting school there.
Yeah.
So.
Did you do all your elementary and high school in Abilene?
Yes.
Okay.
Went all the way through high school there and played sports a lot and was on a team that was quite significant in the time. Football was always a big time out in West Texas. It was, dominated what people did.
Yeah.
Every Friday, people went to see the local football game.
Yeah.
And so, I played for Abilene High for, 3 years there, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And we won 39 straight games.
39 straight games.
Yeah, and it was a fun time, and we met many reunions with a group of guys through the years, and celebrated it with. When I say team of the century, that's what appeared on the Dallas Morning newspaper you know, one time after we'd been, much after we'd
Do
finished
you
school.
have that paper?
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
You do?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and we have, well, like I say, we met about every 10 years for reunions with the group.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And some of them even went up and played professional ball. And I chose not to go into, college level ball because I was going into engineering, I thought, at the time.
Yeah.
And so I knew that was going to demand all my time.
Yeah.
Which it really did. But I started out first year in engineering, chemical engineering, there in Abilene, at Abilene Christian College.
Okay.
And but after a few years, I realized that I had a heart for something else, and so I took my aptitude test. They gave us during those days aptitude tests, see what you're best at, and I scored real high, mainly on the dental aptitude.
Okay.
Okay, because I was good with my hands, and mathematics was something I enjoyed, and also when I got to was accepted to dental school. Yeah, we had a big deal there, so, applying to different schools around, and I just applied to, which is Baylor and also the University of Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, and so and during all that time, I met my wife.
Yes.
Joan. Yes.
When did you meet Joan? What year?
Oh, golly, Joan, help me out here. That was well, I graduated from in 1956, I think it was.
You were 7, I was 58.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
1957.
And we met in 59.
Yeah, 59. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I applied to Baylor and to, after actually Joan and I met, and we finished up an extra year there because when I took off into chemical engineering, that took up a little bit of my time, and I needed some biology classes, so I had to go back and get some biology classes before I went to dental school.
Yeah.
But we got accepted to both schools, and so I decided to go to Baylor because my wife Joan wanted to work in the Dallas area.
Okay.
And so she applied to a place in Highland Park, and believe it or not, got on as a first grade school teacher.
Amazing.
And she's amazing, but she was always a good teacher.
Yeah.
And even with our kids.
Yeah.
So.
What was the post-war culture like growing up as a teenager and then into college? What was just the, atmosphere of your college and all of that?
Well, there in Abilene Christian, the atmosphere after the war was this we got to enjoy those years of peace, I guess you might say, before America got into any of the wars, and so. But when we did get to our senior year in ICU there, the Korean Wars became an issue, and a few of our friends, after they finished up with ACU there, went on to the Korean War. We stayed though in the medical end of it, and so after we'd gone through that, I guess the atmosphere was, America didn't want to see some of the communist countries take over the whole world, so to speak. And so, like I said, I had 4 older brothers.
Yeah.
But at that time, the oldest one I was telling you about, the World War II one, he was already, out of the loop. It served his time, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I had 2 other brothers that went on and were in the army during the Korean conflict.
Yeah.
And they went through that.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually got into the work thing
Yeah.
as after I finished my dental degree.
Yeah.
And they kind of give you a little history on that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going into, we were looking around to see where I was going to go start my dental practice.
Mm-hmm.
And this was about halfway through my senior year. Well, I got a call from this friend of mine
Okay.
that had graduated the year before from
Mm.
Baylor. And he said, Jim, he said, I just wanted to give you a call and tell you something that you need to know.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, what's that? And he said, I just got my draft notice. And he said, I am having to shut down my dental practice, which was up in Pampa, wasn't it? Or not Pampa, Lubbock. And he said, I'm, having to go to El Paso, Texas, and I'll be there for 2 years. And he said, I said, so
Mhm.
what you think I should do? He said, don't start your practice, just go and look around, see which branch of the
Mhm.
service you might like.
Yeah.
Well, of course, my oldest brother was Air Force. My second and third brother were U.S. Army. And I thought, well, we need a Navy guy.
There you go. Level it out.
And I thought, yeah. And so, well, Joan and I had always enjoyed, or thought we would enjoy the Pacific Northwest. And so
Mhm.
we applied, and sure enough, I got San Diego.
Okay.
And so when Joan and I left Baylor, I left Baylor, and Joan had to quit her job there at Highland Park. Well, we headed off to the West Coast, and so spent 2 years there.
Were you working on a base?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were at the Naval Training Center.
Mm-hmm.
And the MCRD, that is the Marines, were right next door. And so it was, again, it was, dealing with the Vietnam War is what I'm talking about. If you probably know a little bit about what went on during the Vietnam War. It was a very unpopular war.
Yes.
And I can remember that even within San Diego, which was a huge military area there, it wasn't unusual to go out and people would make comments if you were wearing your uniform.
Yes.
And they would belittle what America was trying to do.
Yes.
And I know I had one friend particularly who went out one day for lunch, and he happened to decide to go downtown San Diego, and that was not the thing to do.
No.
Downtown San Diego, wearing your uniform downtown.
Yeah.
And he came back and was telling us what the shouting that some other people had done toward him and his uniform, that thing.
Wow. I can't think of another time in American history where something like that has happened, where it's been so unpopular to be in the military. Has that been the only time where you've experienced that?
Yes, right, personally, yeah.
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 That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's sad too.
Yeah. But that was kind of the era of that time.
Yes.
And it's, as you look back on history, you think, wow, that was a completely different mindset of people from World War II to the Vietnam thing, which took place, just during my short lifetime, over those years there, that you saw that whole...
From the difference of everybody leaving, like your brother, his whole class
and
leaving.
not griping about it.
Yes.
Right. And the centers, that were training people for the war and everything were all looked at highly. I remember that my two oldest brothers particularly, when they wanted to come home for Christmas or Thanksgiving, you know, and usually the military would let them do that. What was something we didn't even think about was the fact that they would like being up in Kansas or somewhere on the East Coast or West Coast, and they would, you know, just get their bag, you know, little carrying bag, you know,
Yeah.
that they had for their clothes,
Yeah.
and just go out on the highway
Mm-hmm.
and start thumbing a ride.
Yeah.
And they could usually get home within
Yeah.
1 or 2 days,
Yeah.
just thumbing the rides, and everybody was really good about picking them up.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I mean, you don't see anybody sticking
Oh,
their
no.
thumb out,
Oh,
know,
no.
for a ride. But they
Mhm.
always had their uniforms on, and the
Yes.
people realized that, and so they knew that, oh, this person is,
Lending credibility.
you know, right, has
Yeah.
good credibility, and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to save our country, and we need to give them a ride.
Yeah.
And so that was for my 2 oldest brothers, particularly. That was the way getting around
Mm-hmm.
and getting back home for
Mhm.
special events like Thanksgiving and Christmas was
Yeah.
real important.
That was the go-to.
Yeah.
And then very different whenever you were in the Navy.
Oh,
How
yeah.
many years were you in the Navy?
Yeah, right. Well, we were in the Navy just 2 years.
Just 2 years.
Yeah, all the time there in San Diego. When I came onto base there
Mhm.
in San Diego, the naval, we had 70 new dentists come in at the same time I did.
Wow.
And I was one of 7 that luckily got to stay there on base.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because the captain of the unit there, but he and I got along just real fine.
Yeah.
And so he knew that I was married and
Yeah.
had one little girl, and so
Mm-hmm.
he and I developed a real strong friendship, and
Mm-hmm.
he kept me there, so that was great.
Yeah.
So, but I spent 2 years right there in San Diego the whole time.
So you obviously made it back to Texas. What got you back? Why didn't you stay in California or San
Okay,
Diego?
yeah. Well, we, my wife was from Central Texas, and I was from Abilene.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of, my wife liked the Dallas area. She loved
Yeah.
High Highland Park area
Mm-hmm.
and everything that goes with good
Yeah.
shopping and
Yeah.
nice homes and things like that.
I love the
So-
Highland Park area.
Yeah. And so she wanted to come back, but I just have always
Mm.
not enjoyed having to drive up I-35. You know,
Totally
and
fair.
totally, you know, it was even blocked up all the time when I was there.
Way back then?
Way back then, it was still a mess. And so I told her, I said, well, why don't we try someplace that's close to that?
Ooh, let's
we
check
can
this.
be in downtown Dallas.
Ooh, I hope that's.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. I think it's still going. I think we're good. We're good. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
where were we talking about?
We were talking about shopping, Highland Park. You're moving back to Texas.
So we're moving back to Texas.
Yes.
So we didn't want to get on I-35 every day again, so like we did in school.
Yeah.
So we decided we'd just look around, and we looked at Denton, Texas, and that's how we ended up here. We
Yeah.
liked this college town,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it was a unique little community, and so we came to Denton just out of a lark.
Yeah.
Didn't know a soul,
Yeah.
and ended up here, and we enjoyed it,
Mm-hmm.
and got involved in the church and in the community, and so just want to say, just came a part of who Denton was at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were raising what was the year when you moved to Denton? And you had one daughter at this point.
Okay, Joan, then help me out here.
Actually, we had,
Two daughters.
You had
uh-huh,
2
'cause
daughters.
we had one of them in San Diego.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah, pretty.
I think we moved back here in 68.
68.
Mm-hmm.
Was that right?
1968. Okay, and so we spent 3 years here, and after 3 years, we had a successful practice going, but I got kind of I was doing some things orthodontically in my practice a little bit, but I realized I needed to probably get, if I was really going to enjoy this, I need to go ahead and get a degree in this.
Yes.
Okay, so
you were switching.
so
from
yeah, I
dentistry.
came in one day and one of my friends from dental school had gone back to orthodontic school, and so I called him up and said, "Hey, I'd like to come over and visit with you."
Yeah.
Well, my wife realized she was in trouble right then.
Oh no.
Because at that time we had our third little girl,
Okay.
and so we had 3 kids, and I was accepted down in Houston at the University of Texas, a medical center, dental center down there in Houston, and so we left Denton, and not knowing if we were going to return or not, and went down to Houston there and started school for 2 years. Stayed there, and it was very pleasant group of guys down there, and we still enjoy it. We still talk to them occasionally on the phone after all these years. So,
I'm sure that was a chaotic time.
Yeah.
You were in, how long was orthodontic school?
we were there for 2 years, okay, and then I was in practice for about 25, right?
Okay.
And so that's, and then even after that, we stayed in Denton, and I had to have something to do, and so I loved orthodontics and everything, but I had also some medical issues, and so it was one of those things that when you come up with leukemia, all of a sudden you realize that life is short.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know whether we were going to live 2 years or 20 more years. Okay.
Yeah. So when you were diagnosed with leukemia, did the doctor just tell you, like, we don't really know what's going to happen? What stage were you at?
Well, we'd come up with it early on. When I say early on, I think it was in 1989 that we came up with it. Yeah.
So
that's when I was diagnosed. I just went in for a regular yearly checkup. And they sent me over after your checkup. You go get your blood drawn for them to check your blood. And I still remember like it was yesterday, sitting at the chair and getting this phone call.
Yeah.
Now I was working that day.
Yeah.
And the doctor called me back. He said, "Jim, you need to come in. We need to talk about this."
Wow.
Yeah. And so he told me what he thought it was. And I knew enough about medical centers and everything because I'd worked in them when I was in school in Dallas, and also we were next to them down there in Houston.
Yeah.
And so I told my wife, I said, "We're going down to Houston for this," because I had a brother that had passed away years before this, and he'd had cancer, and so he had been treated down there at the medical center in Houston. And so we went down there and got connected up with one of the best researchers in leukemia in the country, and that's when we realized that we wanted to do a few things, while God gave us time.
Yes.
And it's amazing. We didn't realize that it would be a situation where God was going to really give us a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we were blessed. But after I did retire from orthodontics, we had been successful enough to have laid back funds for retirement. And so we were able to retire, and we bought a couple of ranches out in West Texas.
Yeah.
And we were kind of worked as a rancher because I loved outside work.
Yeah.
And we did that. I'm still doing it. to some degree.
How big is your ranch?
Well, the first two we had, they were about 1,000 acres each.
Wow.
One near Dickens, Texas, and one near Matador.
Mm-hmm.
And the only bad thing about that, they were about a 4-hour drive from the house, 4.5-hour drive. And so it took a while to get there. And so after we sold those two, after a few years from that, well, we, still felt like we need to stay busy. And so
Mm-hmm.
I came in one day and said, hey, I told my wife, I said, I want to buy a boat.
Buy a boat?
Yeah, because we'd had boats before, and after all the kids had left town, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, we sold all our boats, but I thought, well, it'll give us someplace to go,
Yeah.
And she said, no, we've already done that thing. She
Uh-huh.
said, if you get another ranch, why don't you get it and say, keep it at least an hour and a half from the house here.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did.
Okay.
We,
So you opted for the ranch instead of the boat?
right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the trade-off.
That does not seem like a very
Yeah,
even
it
trade-off
is,
to me,
yeah, it's the ranch, and still,
Yeah.
in fact, I'll go out there this week,
Yeah.
with my
Uh-huh.
son-in-law, and we'll do some
Mhm.
things out there. But
Yeah.
we've got, it's not as big as the other two were, but it is 450 acres, and
Mhm.
we enjoy getting out there, and we've got a home out there
Mhm.
on the ranch, and we enjoy just working around in the country, and we upgrading the ranch, and
Yeah.
we're one of the unusual things I had done 2 weeks ago was I wanted to get some of the mesquite sprays. West Texas is full of mesquites. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you have to control them.
Mhm.
And so we're working with the NRCS people there, and we decided which areas we need to spray,
Yeah.
but still keep it because it is a wildlife area.
Yeah.
And we're just about a mile from the lake there too, and so there's a lot of deer and things like that, and geese
Yeah.
and ducks come over all the time. But we thought, okay, how are we going to do this, spray this,
Mhm.
and keeping the cattle off of it too. And it was, I talked to a guy who has aerial spraying, and
Yeah.
he was going to spray it aerially for me. And he looked at the diagram we had, worked right out with the NRCS people, and he says, "Oh, I can't do this." He said, "You need to get one of these little drone aircrafts."
Oh, yeah.
I said, "Drone aircrafts to spray it?" He said, "Yeah." And so that's what we got.
Ooh, you put a drone in.
And it's quite amazing what they can do electronically now.
Mhm.
And they just put the big tubs of spray on this drone, and it lifts up and it goes out. And the guy came up there the day he did it. He got there late because the NRCS guy forgot to give him the gate combination to the ranch. And
That will cause some
so,
problems.
yeah, that's a problem there.
Mhm.
And but he went out there and couldn't get in, and so finally my neighbor helped him. He showed him where the key was, and he got in, but it was late. And I was worried about him getting there so late, but talked to him, and he said, "Well, that's fine. We can do it, in the dark."
Yeah.
And I said, "Really?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, and so he didn't finish until 10 o'clock at night.
What a guy.
Yeah, but they all work off the global positioning, units
Yeah.
there, and they know where every spot is on the ranch,
Wow.
and so they can tell that drone,
Mhm.
where to go, and,
Yeah.
and then when it gets where it needs to go, they can. The thing is programmed to
Mhm.
shoot that spray out.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing world we live in, and
Yeah.
what they can do nowadays with things like that we never thought
Mhm.
20 years ago anything like that could happen. so that's where my life is now. Is that we enjoy of course our church people
Mm-hmm.
that we have around us, and just our family we have here in town.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
God is good.
Yes. That is an amazing, going back to just the change, especially in even the management of your ranch, being able to put that drone over all of that acreage and living through just the incredible technological changes that have taken place.
Yeah.
Also, do you remember when everything was going on with NASA, from launching the first rocket
Yeah.
to the first astronauts? Do you remember just thinking anything on that subject or paying attention to those world events at all?
Oh yeah. Well, you kind of remember where you were when certain things happened.
Because that is so huge.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember where you were when Kennedy was killed.
Yes.
I was in dental school.
You were in dental school.
In biology class. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. And we were. Of course, you remember also where you were when we had the first man land on the moon.
Yes. Where were
Okay.
you?
We were on our way with our daughter. That was Christy, right? And she was our first one there.
Mhm.
And we'd moved back to Denton here, but we were going up to Colorado, and I had a good friend, one of my good friends when I was a young kid there in Abilene.
Yeah.
His parents had a house up in Durango, in that area,
Close.
close there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we had gone to their place, and his dad was a rancher, and
Yeah.
he had cattle, and he and I always got along real good together. But we were in their living room
Mm-hmm.
watching their TV, right? When the man landed on the moon. Well, yeah, but you remember certain things. And the other last one, I guess you might remember, was that where I was when 9/11 happened.
Yes.
Okay? And those events, just kind of stick out like it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was out at the ranch at Matador,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have the ranch very long, so we were making upgrades to a little house we had out there. And so I'd gone out there just by myself, and because I wanted to lay some flooring and build some walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was staying in a motel there in Matador, and it was kind of like a home on the range motel.
Yeah.
It's very rustic.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just across the way from it, the street from it there was a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd gone in there that morning to get some breakfast, and I was going on out to the ranch. But I was eating my breakfast there,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard some commotion going on in where the cook was, and he stuck his head out, from that counter he was standing behind, cooking, and he said, "You guys need to come in back here and watch this." And
Yeah.
we said, "Well, what's going on?" He said, "You just need to come here, everybody." And so there was, I think, 3 or 4 other guys in there with me. So we went back there in his, cooking area,
Yeah.
because he had his TV going up there.
Yeah.
And we watched the towers.
Mm-hmm.
The first tower had just been hit,
Yeah.
and when the second plane hit the second tower, we just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this wasn't an accident,
Yeah.
type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you remember well, and you remember what you did all that day too, because I remember Joan phoned me and made sure that I knew what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I went out to the ranch, and my job that day I brought some flooring with me, and I laid floor
Yeah.
and prayed all day long.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember about the 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, but there are more events in my life, but those are the things. Of course, the birth of your children.
Yes. Your 4 children.
That's always, and it was always, a very special time.
Yeah.
And like I say, God's blessed us with, 4 great kids. And we've had a beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
Yep. And just wouldn't say I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, we're almost out of storage, so
Okay.
I have one more question for you though.
Okay.
I would like your parting words of wisdom to all of us.
Okay. Well, I will kind of say this. My favorite verse is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He'll direct your paths. And I think that's the motto that Joan and I have lived pretty well all of our lives.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for spending this time with me.